Okay, so hey everyone, welcome to today's class. I'm actually recording after a pretty long stretch right now. So in the meantime, I went ahead and completed my Google certification for Associate Cloud Engineer. So it was a very nice experience, and I'll probably put in a video in this course sharing my experience about that exam. But today we are here to learn about AWS OpsWorks. So let's go ahead and get started and understand as to what this orchestration service brings us. What are the features that it has, right? So AWS OpsWorks, it's a configuration management service. So it's again an orchestration service, but it does configuration management. So people who are familiar with Chef and Puppet over the years, right? So they will be able to immediately get started working with this particular service. And this is the only service on the AWS platform other than, let's say that you can have your own EC2 instance that has Chef and Puppet installed, Chef Workstation probably installed, but then AWS OpsWorks brings it out of the box for you. So it brings out support for both Chef and Puppet for you. So they are the automation platforms that allow you to use code to automate some of the configurations of your servers. So let's say, for example, you have different phases, right? So you have the setup phase, you have the deploy phase, you have the undeploy phase. So what are your Chef cookbooks that you would like to run during these stages? So that's the kind of configuration that you can bring about in terms of installing certain applications onto your server or even deploying an application onto your server, but everything is through code that you write, right? And OpsWorks, it lets you use Chef and Puppet to automate your servers, how they are configured, how they are deployed, and even managed across your EC2 instance or even your on-premise infrastructure, right? And OpsWorks has three offerings. So the offering that we are going to concentrate today on is AWS OpsWorks Stacks, but it also has support for Chef Automate and Puppet Enterprise, right? So we will get started with AWS OpsWorks Stacks. So this lets you manage applications and servers on AWS as well as on-premise. So with OpsWorks Stacks, you can model your application as a stack containing different layers. So therefore, you can think about this as in you have a stack within which you have multiple layers, and each layer serving its own purpose. A layer can be dedicated towards EC2 instances. A layer can be dedicated towards a database. A layer can be a separate load balancer that you would like to have. And we will talk about some load balancer features as to how it registers the underlying EC2 instances subsequently, or even while doing the practical scenario. So you can also deploy and configure your EC2 instances in each layer so that they can connect to resources such as RDS databases. So you can ensure that your cookbooks that you write, which are being deployed onto your EC2 instances, are also configured in such a way that they connect to RDS databases, right? And your RDS database actually sits in a separate layer, and I'll show you this on the console. So OpsWorks Stacks also lets you to do automatic scaling for your servers based on different preset schedules. You can do load-based instances, you can do time-based instances, and so on. And it also does auto scaling based on different traffic levels, and it uses lifecycle hooks to orchestrate your changes. In the sense, you have a setup lifecycle hook, you have a deploy lifecycle hook, you have an undeploy lifecycle hook, and so on. We will anyways discuss about this on the console. Right? So every stack contains one or more layers, each of which represents a stack component, such as a load balancer or a set of EC2 instances serving an application or probably a database. So each layer in a stack must have at least one instance and can optionally have multiple instances, right? So you can get started with one instance. So that's what we are going to do today. We are going to deploy a sample application onto an OpsWorks stack. And then each instance in a stack can be a member of at least one layer, except for registered instances. And you cannot configure the instance directly except for some basic settings, such as like if suppose you want to troubleshoot, you can give your SSH key or you can specify your host name, and you must create and configure an appropriate layer and add that instance to that particular layer. So that's what we are going to do today, right? So you will not be able to see all the different configurations of an EC2 instance that you see while creating an EC2 instance on the EC2 side, but you will see some of those configurations on the OpsWorks side, right? So some of the use cases where you would probably use OpsWorks is that it lets you model and visualize your application with layers and defines how you would configure a set of resources that are managed together. You can also define certain software configurations at each layer, such as installation scripts, initialization tasks. Probably you would like to install a monitoring agent onto your EC2 instance right when it starts. You can possibly do that through installation scripts, right? And when an instance is added to your layer, all the configuration steps are automatically applied for you. And in some places, if suppose we are using a sample application that we are going to do today, OpsWorks themselves go ahead and create an instance on our behalf and manages that instance for you through its different lifecycle states. And OpsWorks also promotes your conventions, but it's flexible enough to let you customize any aspect of your environment. Right? You can also enable Burkshelf for Chef, where Burkshelf allows you to bring your own cookbooks from any repository that you have set up, right? So it also supports certain DevOps principles such as continuous integration, because everything in your environment can be automated, and you can specify not only how to deploy your code, but also to use Chef recipes to configure your software on your servers, and AWS API to provision your resources. And this supports pipelines from your source repository to your build server for any kind of testing all the way up to production environment, right? So it follows certain DevOps principles. That's also something to remember. So these are some of the main features. So let's say that we have the app deployment feature, wherein you can pull code from your registry or from any repository and also install it onto one or all of your instances. And you can have multiple applications in a stack that are configured to work together like a system. Let's take, for example, microservices. We would do that in that way. And Opsworks also has a feature called as auto healing, which is very important to remember when you go for your exam also, that it can automatically heal your stack. So if suppose an instance fails in your stack, it can also replace it with a new one. And we have automatic instance scaling. So you can adapt to the number of instances to match your load with time-based or load-based auto scaling. So this is something that I mentioned before. You can have time-based scaling or load-based scaling. The instances in your pool can vary in size, letting you scale gradually or quickly. This is something that you have already studied about when you studied about auto scaling groups with EC2, right? So similar to that, you also have automatic instance scaling, but based on time or load based, right? And then finally, you do have on-premise support for Opsworks. So you can use Opsworks stacks to deploy and manage and scale your application on any Linux servers, such as EC2 instances or servers running in your own data center, which has the Opsworks agent that is running over there, right? So this is all there is in theory to Opsworks. And there may be a lot more configurations that we may not have seen it on the PowerPoint slides, but then let us go to the console and let's understand as to how things work, right?